From that day in 1760 to the present, excavations in Pompeii have continued. Early explorers carted away whatever they found. Only in the last century have scientists been able to put a stop to the stealing and damage of historic artifacts. This control led to the most dramatic find of all. In 1864, the archaeologist Giuseppe Fiorelli was supervising the excavation when workers found yet another cavity in the volcanic ash. Like hundreds of others, the cavity was filled with human bones. They usually just tossed the bones aside and kept on digging, a senseless loss. Fiorelli thought, when the Pompeians died, volcanic ash hardened around their bodies. The bodies decayed, leaving a hollow space in the rock. Could this hollow space be used like a sculptor's mold? He tried an experiment. Plaster of Paris was poured in the hollow. Then, very carefully, they scraped away the surrounding ash and cinders. The resulting cast was more detailed than he had dared to hope. It resembled a marble statue, but this was once the shape of a living person. A mule driver huddled under a balcony. A young woman trapped in the street. A dog left behind, chained to a post. And many others, literally frozen in time. Terentius the baker gave a party for his brother Neo, who was just elected magistrate. Their friends came and drank all night. In the wine shop of Felix Arbitrus, a new blend was said to capture the very taste of spring. Decius bought a slave who knew the art of mosaics. His first creation said, "Beware of the dog." The slaves of Mrs. Vetti were hard at work on her new house. It would be the very finest in Pompeii.
This is the atrium of a typical Roman house, of a wealthy family, naturally. We have the atrium with its compluvium, which leads down to the impluvium, where the rain fell in the rainy season, filling a basin of water below. The family life revolved around this area. You will find that you have small rooms, the cubicles, the triclinium or dining room, which we find back there. In the morning, mother would have got up and the servants would have gone into her cubicle and done her hair. Father would have got up out of his, because it was recommended by the Romans not to sleep together. It led to bad marriages. And you will notice the painting on the walls. This is one of the finest houses as far as the late or fourth style, Pompeian style in painting can be found. But life was comfortable, calm in these houses, the open air in the garden behind, the open air in the atrium.
For all of Pompeii's value as a treasure chest of antiquity, the city is, ironically, better known for its many lewd murals. Advertisements of a sort for the red light district were plastered on walls all over town. What has survived in Pompeii are records of frivolity, decadence, and still another facet of Roman civilization, savagery.
In here you had the sport, which included men against animals, animals against animals, and men against men. The Romans loved blood sport. If they ran out of gladiators, they would then go to the local jail, get a condemned prisoner or a group of condemned prisoners, and it was like that, slitting the throat, so to speak. At one point, the competition between the two gladiatorial shows was so strong that the populace in the arena joined into the fight, and there was a gross bloodbath. For this reason, the government in Rome closed this amphitheater for 10 years.
Discovery of strange murals brought up another mystery in Pompeii. The scenes seem to depict religious rituals, but to this day, no one has been able to explain their meaning. For want of a better name, scholars call these rites the cult of the mysteries. No culture in history has been without religion. The Romans borrowed from the Greeks and created a panoply of gods. Evidence has been found in Pompeii showing tributes and sacrifices paid to Jupiter, Juno, Mars, and dozens of other pagan gods. When Vesuvius erupted, Christianity was less than 50 years old, and we would never expect to find evidence of its organized practice so far from the Holy Land. However, in nearby Herculaneum, sister city of Pompeii, a small object was found over a simple altar. It looked like a Christian cross. This room was sealed in the earth only 49 years after Christ. Is it possible that whoever worshipped here knew Jesus?
Well, some say that it is a cross and that it was a room of a Christian. I have my doubts because although the cross was an early Christian symbol, the most common symbol in that period, before 79, was the fish. If there were a fish there, I would be convinced.
Dr. John Ray is a professor of theology in Anaheim, California.
Well, this depression in the stucco wall definitely has the shape of a cross. It looks like it, and it looks like a wooden cross had been nailed into this depression at one time, and then removed, and then a board or wooden cover nailed over the area. And it's thought that this may have happened perhaps during a time of Christian persecution, such as when Nero persecuted the Christians in 64 AD. As far as I know, no other religion used the cross at that time as a symbol. And so it would be pretty good evidence that it was of a Christian person worshiping.
The controversy is still unresolved. The Bible tells us that St. Paul traveled from the Holy Land to the Bay of Naples around 63 AD. He met Christian brethren at a place called Three Taverns. Was this place Pompeii or possibly Herculaneum? The answer may still lie buried in the unexcavated part of this town.
Coming up next, In Search Of continues with a probe into time travel. Then 20th Century with Mike Wallace reports on the scrutiny of the police in the wake of the Rodney King and Amadou Diallo incidents. And later tonight, The Men Who Killed Kennedy takes a close look at the evidence that Lee Harvey Oswald may not have acted alone. At 9, here on the History Channel, where the past comes alive.